You've also said that there are visual things, the face that you see on the MC20 and other
Mhm.
aspects that will foreshadow where Maserati goes in the future. And you also and you said you did not want to design a car for Instagram. You didn't want to design a car that shouts "Look at me" and is too aggressive, but you wanted to design that visual value, something that was made it a rolling sculpture to some extent. Have you recaptured what it means to be Maserati?
So I think there's 2 points I would say to that. Number one, why do I think visual longevity is such an important part? And it's not only because it'll go into a Concours d'Elegance in 30, 40 years, but if you look at where we are as a society and the role of a luxury brand, and we are a luxury brand, I think our obligation, and when I say our, I mean all luxury brands, the obligation is to deliver visual and qualitative longevity. Because I give you the opposite example. Luxury brands I do not have respect for are the ones that are commanding a high price, and they're probably delivering good quality in terms of product, but there's no visual longevity. In other words, if you look at some fashion brands, they force you to rebuy every 6 months. Now that for me, can be perceived as luxury because it's going to be expensive, et cetera, but it's not the role that we need to play in the level of being relevant and sustainable. Because I do believe that, if you allow me to speak about sustainability for a moment, because it's very close to my heart, and not
Sure.
only mine, but us as a brand and as Stellantis, is that to be sustainably relevant, you can do two things. You can continue to buy a high quantity of product and make sure it's either recycled or is recyclable, or you can buy less, but make sure that that one object that you buy has that longevity, qualitative and visual. And I think that's what we're doing with Maserati, with an MC20, or other Maseratis too. Point number one. Point number two I would like to make, coming back also to the rolling sculpture comment, is again, looking at society. Now, obviously, I've lived in many societies and understand there's a different approach and understanding of car culture. A big difference between USA and Germany, for example. In Germany, there's a very critical debate about cars in general, luxury cars, SUVs. And so now I can design a car that looks like, that shouts, "Look at me." I could add extra spoilers, extra air intakes, and a lot of edges and decorative elements. But is it the right move? Because do I really want to create this kind of attention that sometimes can be negative? Or do I create a car, and that's what we've done with an MC20, but also other products, that really only use the minimum required air intakes, that tries to avoid spoilers, that creates truly a rolling sculpture, and by doing that adds visual value to the environment and hopefully is appreciated versus creating negative context. And the good news is, from all I can hear and all I see, is we have exactly accomplished that with the MC20, but also other products like the Grecale.